And when you see 3 tornadoes on your first chase, you kind of get addicted to it. Like, seconds matter in severe weather. Ham radio is the difference between seconds and minutes. You're chasing a storm and Reed Timmer or Tiv drive by and you're like, oh, I'm a little too close.
What's the most intense situation you've been in?
Anytime there's a tornado, it's pretty intense. So I'm Abraham Sandy. I'm a storm chaser for Big Dog Northeastern Colorado Storm Chasers. And I'm also a ham radio operator, call sign Whiskey X-Ray 0, Alpha Bravo Echo. Easy to remember, Weather Abe. I'm the PR director for Colorado Severe Weather Network, which is a ham radio Skywarn network. And then I'm also the president of Northeastern Colorado Amateur Radio Club.
How did you first get into storm chasing?
So it goes back pretty far. I was always into weather. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there's a town called Xenia. And back in I believe it's 74, somewhere around there, there was a F5 tornado that went through that town. Fujita, who the Fujita scale is named after, he actually rated the Xenia tornado an F6. It just destroyed the town. I have family that was there, and I have friends whose family were there. Actually, the governor of Ohio currently, he was actually in Xenia at the time. So I've always been into weather. How storm chasing actually happened is I moved out here to Colorado, and there was a chaser named Dakota McGee, and he invited me to come storm chasing, and on my first storm chase I saw 3 tornadoes. And when you see 3 tornadoes on your first chase, you kind of get addicted to it. So eventually he took me under his wing. He's a legend out here in northeastern Colorado, and he got me on Big Dog Northeastern Colorado Storm Chasers team. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be on that team, actually. And Dakota, unfortunately, passed away in November of 2022. So we lost him, but we still, his legacy still lives on in Big Dog. And ever since then, we've been storm chasing. I got my ham radio license, actually, in 2021. For storm chasing. I got it because when I took my Skywarn class, they were like, hey, you can, so in Skywarn you can only relay third-party messages for only a few things, and one of those is being ham radio. So when I got my ham license, local repeater here in Sterling was on Skyhub Link, Denver Skyhub Link, and they are connected repeaters throughout the whole state, and Colorado Severe Weather Network, which I'm now a part of, Gary NC2WX, he is the net control for the Severe Weather Network, and when storms happen in this area, he brings just those repeaters into that room, and he relays stuff to us, and then we relay what we see to him, and then that goes directly to the National Weather Service.
So you had a really strong and really good start, actually. 3 tornadoes in a row.
Yeah. And it was pretty much back to back to back, too. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. It was the first season that you saw 3 tornadoes, or it was like in a few weeks?
It was the very first chase.
Oh, it was the very first chase?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the same day as the twin Akron tornadoes in 2022.
2022. That was the year when I got into storm
Yeah,
chasing,
yeah.
and I took my very first Skywarn training.
Same here. And I'm about to take another one here in a couple weeks. I always recommend people, if you're an active storm chaser or an active Skywarn person, I always recommend getting it every 2 to 3 years, because new stuff comes out.
Yeah, all the time, some updates. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did ham radio become part of it?
Ham radio also goes back pretty far. I actually wanted to get my ham license when I was 9. because I got into CB, and I was like, oh, ham radio. And Ohio, again, Xenia, funny enough, is where the national ham convention happens every year. So a huge community back in Ohio. But I back then you had to know Morse code to get your license, and well, the higher up licenses. But I decided not to get my ham license back then. Testing and studying for the test was different back then too. We didn't have a way like we do now with hamradioprep.com, which is pretty much that you watch a video, they give you some questions, watch another video, give you some questions, and then you just build from that before, and you're ready to take the test pretty much after that. But so it changed, and then when I got Skywarn, right after that is when I got licensed.
How exactly do you use ham radio during a chase?
So there's a couple ways. So first year I didn't really, I was trying to use it, it wasn't really successful. The second year I started using the repeaters in the area. Fort Morgan repeater, Sterling repeater, Holyoke repeater are all linked into the Colorado Severe Weather Network. And there was one storm actually that really opened my eyes to it being a good thing. So everybody was chasing one storm up in the Pawnee National Grasslands, and Paul and I looked at the radar, and we saw a storm heading towards Brush where he lives, and so we were like, hey, let's go down there. Let's go towards that storm. So we went towards that storm, had a beautiful wall cloud, and it was about to drop a tornado pretty much right on the town of Brush. So because I'm in Brush, I could get onto the Fort Morgan repeater, so I was relaying it straight to NC2WX Gary, and he was relaying it. So I relayed it to Gary. Gary wrote it all down, took the pictures that I sent him as well, emailed that straight to the National Weather Service, and within a minute or two, they had the tornado sirens going off. So it's a lot easier than using a cell phone. Everybody's like, I also have Starlink in my car. People are like, why don't you just use your phone? Well, phone you have to call. They might be on the phone with somebody else, so it might take a little bit. Moments matter in a severe weather. That moment can mean one person's house gets destroyed or not. So ham radio is pretty much instant. Now, last year, I really used the Colorado Severe Weather Network. What's nice, so last year they got it's called Echolink. So it's actually an application on your phone. And ever heard of Zello?
No.
So Zello is another application that's not ham radio, but Echolink is the ham radio version of Zello. And what it is basically your phone is linked to the Colorado Severe Weather Network. Skyhub Link has their own Echolink, and you can hit a button to transmit, so you can transmit from your phone to ham radio repeaters
right away.
So a lot of the areas out here we don't have the coverage on repeaters. We're working on that, but so I would actually use my tablet. I would have my radar on my tablet, and then Echolink has a little pop-up on one side, so I could easily transmit straight to him, and that helped out a lot this year. I was able to relay wind reports. I was able to relay hail. I was able to report. We had a tornado in Merino last year that I relayed to him, so it really helps with severe weather, and it, like I said, moments matter. Like seconds matter in severe weather, and ham radio is the difference between seconds and minutes.
If you combine the ham radio with radar scope,
so radar is going to show me where the tornado signatures and stuff like that, which is really hard to tell out here because we're so far away from the radars. But so I still have my radar out. The repeater, the Echolink is in a corner over here, and it's just there so I can transmit, and I can also listen to Gary, as he relays stuff from the National Weather Service, because he's also seeing things. He actually has an application that he can go in and he can see the layers in the cloud, and sometimes you can actually see the funnel from the cloud. So he's able to relay that to us, which helps a lot. He's able to see where the hail is, which helps out a ton because I don't want to drive into hail. So it works both ways. Ham radio works for the chaser, and it also works for the National Weather Service.
What kind of information are you relying to the National Weather Service?
So, National Weather Service, we relay a lot of things to them. So we relay wind reports, anything over 55, 65 miles per hour. We relay hail. This year, the National Weather Service Boulder wants anything half inch and larger. Sometimes they change that if there's like a lot of hail. They're like, we want even the small hail, because you could have small hail, but you could have it deep. So they still want to have that. So we relay that stuff. We relay flooding. We relay structure. So if we see wall clouds, rolling clouds, we see a funnel cloud, tornado, that stuff we relay to them. We relay fires right now has been a big thing. We don't really relay that to the National Weather Service. We relay that to net control. And what's nice about with ham radio is people can listen to ham radio without a license. So people listen to the Boulders broadcast on the NOAA radios. Well, ours gives more detail, and you're also hearing from the spotters as well. So I always encourage people, if you have a radio, program it to your local Skywarn repeater, and you can hear what's going on even if you're not a ham radio operator.
Is it something like a truck drivers usually use?
So a lot of truck drivers are using CB. It's called Citizens Band, which is interesting. So ham radio has a lot of frequencies that you can use. CB's has channels, so and they're actually high frequency channels. So during a really good solar activity, you can actually talk around the world with CB. We also call it 11 meter band. 10 meters is a high frequency band ham radios operators can use, so very close in frequency. And then a lot of them also use GMRS. I know a lot of storm chasers use GMRS. GMRS is very similar to FRS, which is Family Mobile Radio. GMRS is General Mobile Radio. FRS is like just a walkie-talkie that you get at the store. They share frequencies. So if somebody doesn't have a license, they can get an FRS radio talk, and GMRS radios can hear that. Now, when you get a GMRS, it's $35. Pay the FCC. You have to pay the government money to get a license. Your whole family can use it. One license can use the whole family, and then that opens you up to higher wattage, so farther distance you can go out to. You can have detachable antennas. The FRS is limited to 1 watt. When GMRS, you can go up to 50 watts. And you can have repeaters, which you transmit to, and the repeater is going to be higher up, so it can get farther out. So helps with distance. And then there are truckers that do have ham radios, but you don't see that as often.
Is the radio we saw, a lot of people saw in the movie Twister or Twisters?
So a lot of those, and here's another one. So in Twisters, a lot of them were using GMRS, CB. The old Twisters, it was CB, which you can see on the film. Nothing's plugged in on the back, where there should be an antenna plugged in. So it's like they're not transmitting to anything. It's kind of funny.
Doesn't make it cool.
Yeah, it just makes it cool. And I know a lot of chase teams, more so when you talk about the colleges, they might have a business band license. So you can get a license through the FCC, and you can actually have, so ham radio, GMRS, you can't have encryption, so anybody can hear you. Now, if you have a business band license, you can actually own a frequency pretty much, and you can have encryption where even the U.S. government can't really unencrypt it. It will take them weeks to unencrypt encrypted messages. So
No way to hack.
no way to hack that. It's kind of crazy, but I know a lot of places are going more towards the having that. It's $500 a year, so I'm not paying for that license. But ham radio license, $35 for 5-10 years.
How fast do you have to react when things change?
You have to react quick. You can have a storm coming at you. Storms can change motion. They can change direction, and you can also hear hail sometimes. It's like a roaring sound, like a lion roaring, and you have to be able to jump into your vehicle and get away pretty quick. So you have to be pretty fast with your reaction time.
What makes communication so critical during severe weather?
Communication is super, super important. So I also do use Zello because a lot of my chase partners don't have a ham license or a GMRS license. So we relay what we're seeing on a different side of the storm. And then I use ham radio as well. I get relayed information as well. So communication is very important with storm chasing. I always tell people you should not chase by yourself. And even if you have just yourself in the car, you should have at least somebody that you're talking to as well. Because more eyes on a storm is very important because things change instantly.
Have you heard about someone who was like a single storm chaser, a solo storm chaser, and everything turns out really bad?
So I've known people that solo storm chasers that have gotten into car accidents. Luckily, none that I know of that have died. Mm-hmm. There have been pretty bad accidents from solo. So when you're chasing, you're also looking at your radar. You're also, doing all these applications as well. So it's super nice having another person because then you can focus on the road. You're also trying to look at maps because you might not know the area, so you're trying to figure out where you should turn to get away from the storm or to get a better view. With another person, you can have them looking at the radar. You can have them looking at the
backup roads.
Yeah, the roads and all that stuff. So it's very important to have more than one person. Mainly, it's just driving, danger, car accidents, and that stuff.
What's one storm that really tested you?
There's not just one. There's multiple storms that test people. Really, the biggest one that tested me was actually that storm last year in Merino. Because I was driving right along the path with this tornado. And then right after that tornado left, you had the hail core. And I was just right outside that hail core. And so I heard on the radio, actually, oh, there's hail at this location. I was like, oh crap, it's coming right for me. And so I just darted out of there. Actually, Paul, founder of Big Dog, and another friend of mine who's not a storm chaser, but she kind of goes out in storms, and they got actually stuck in the hail, and that one lady, her car actually got totaled.
What was the biggest hail you got into?
So I don't get into the hail. I've had maybe baseball size hail, but and it's only a few. Like I get one hit and one or two hits. Now I have seen 4-inch hail. A little town in Iliff down here. That's where Dakota lived, and it was 2022, and it was the same day, same storm as the Kimball tornado. big dusty tornado, and that came down. It had a huge hail, and one of his friends there in Iliff saw this huge hail come down and threw it in his freezer. Literally a 4-inch hailstone. We thought it was going to break the record, which was later broken by Dan Fitz. Dan Fitz has invited me to storm chase with him. The scary thing is he drives into the hail. I don't know if you've seen Dan's vehicle.
The big one, they have like a frame welded?
No, he has just a blue pickup, and it's all dented up with hail. And he literally has racing car glass because the hail bounces off the glass. I'm like, you're crazy.
It was like a signature hail. Okay, I got hit over here. That was the location. This is the.
He has a softball-sized dent from hail. Just crazy. Him, and then Matt Minio. He lives in Colorado Springs area. He goes into the hail too. Blue Thunder, I don't know if you've heard of that.
I've heard it, yep.
Another friend of mine, and he goes into the hail. His car is bedlined, so, and he has flipped his car. Last year he lost a vehicle from a car accident, so it happens to the best of us.
Have you ever had a moment where communication made a real difference?
Yeah, I think that time in the Merino storm was a key moment, because if I wouldn't have heard it on the radio, I probably would have been stuck in the hail. So, yeah, I've had key moments with communication being important. I've had times where I've realized I was inside of the bear's cage from communication before, because you can get in the moment. And you're so focused on the footage that you're trying to get, or the picture of wall cloud or funnel or tornado, that you don't realize, oh crap, I'm going towards danger, when you need to turn around. And then, sometimes when you hear somebody on the radio or something, it can jolt you back to reality that you need to protect yourself.
Pay attention to it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your most favorite number one state that you like to storm chase?
Colorado.
Colorado, really.
You get the high base storms, not a lot of moisture coming down. I have chased in Dixie Alley. I've chased, I kind of chased in Ohio. I wasn't really a chaser back then, but I did go out for storms occasionally. And totally different out there. You have trees. You're kind of hoping that the storm comes in front of you, where out here you can see it from miles away.
Photogenic over here.
Very photogenic, yes. And I live right in the middle of it, so it's perfect.
What's the most intense situation you've been in while chasing?
Anytime there's a tornado, it's pretty intense. I know last year we had one. It was actually in Nebraska or Kansas, and we were coming up, and it was super windy, and we're looking at the radar, and we're in the bear's claw. The tornado is within yards of us, but you can't see it because the dust is blowing so hard. It's not rain wrapped; it's dust wrapped, because it's so dry out, and you have dust just going everywhere. And you come up to a scene where there's roof off the building, or a door off broken on a barn. Literally, I'm sure some of the cows that were there flew. Like, that was pretty intense, and you're like, holy crap, we were within yards of it. And it's funny, you're in a bad spot when Dan Fitz drives by and honks at you. Kind of like, you're driving, you're chasing a storm, and Reed Timmer or the Tiv drive by, and you're like, oh, I'm a little too close.
Too close. What do most people misunderstand about storm chasing?
So a lot of people that I talk to about storm chasing, a lot of people I've seen on the internet, they think it's all about the adrenaline, and they think storm chasers are adrenaline junkies. Of course, there's people that are, and of course, I don't mind the adrenaline, but most of us are actually in it for the science and the beauty of the storm, and I want to know the storm better. I want to be able to get better pictures. My reason for chasing is public safety mainly. I want to be able to relay stuff to the National Weather Service because we're so far away. We're in what's called a radar hole here. We're about 150 miles from the Boulder radar. We're 150 miles from the Goodland radar, about 150 miles from Cheyenne's radar, and 150 miles from North Platte radar about. So we're right in that hole, and so everything's shooting pretty high, so they are not able to see true ground, what we call ground truth, to a storm, and that's why spotters and storm chasers are so key. So it's not about adrenaline, it's about public safety, science, and the beauty of the storm.
How do you balance risk versus responsibility out there?
So you have to know the risk. I have a lot of people that want to come storm chasing with me, come take a ride along, and people don't understand there's a huge risk with storm chasing. One, I can get into a car accident. Two, we could get into hail, and you have to put goggles on if you're close to a hail core, because it will take out the glass, and the glass will shoot right towards your eyes. So you have that risk. But I don't want to say it's a lot of risk, but there's a lot of reward too, because you see some of the most beautiful, some of the most powerful storms known to man when you're storm chasing. Hurricanes are fun. I plan on going to chase a hurricane. I have been in hurricanes. My mom's from Florida. We used to go down there a lot during the summer, so I've been through hurricanes. But you know that a hurricane's coming. You don't know a tornado's coming.
Can you really predict it?
No. There's not a way yet. There are some science that they're trying to figure out a way to predict if there's going to be a tornado. I mean, we can tell if there's going to be a more likelihood for tornadoes, but then you get the National Weather Service is so underfunded right now. You don't have enough people. You don't have enough resources to. The biggest helpfulness for forecasting and for knowing if it might be a severe weather day is soundings. Mm-hmm. So when they take a weather balloon and shoot it up in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
It gets the measurements in different parts of the atmosphere, and that helps with knowing if we could get a larger tornado.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to get into storm chasing or being a storm spotter and take a Skywarn class?
So I always recommend just take a Skywarn class. Now they will say in a Skywarn class, this is not for storm chasers. So spotters are different than chasers. Spotters, like my friend Mark here, where we're at, he's more of a spotter. So he stays in one location, and if a storm comes to him, then he spots it. Chasers, we go towards the storm. So what I recommend is take a Skywarn class. Try to learn radar. There's a lot of great videos online for it. Try to understand that side of it. Then find somebody that's already a chaser and see if they'll take you out. I know this year I plan on taking a couple people out that are interested in being storm chasers here. I do require, unfortunately nowadays, you have to have forms for liability, because I don't want to get sued. You're going into a dangerous situation. You have to know the dangers of it. So I definitely recommend people, first couple years, don't chase alone. If you're a new chaser, have somebody that knows how to either drive or knows how to storm chase. Preferably both. I was lucky enough to have Dakota McGee, one of the best chasers out this way, to teach me. And I'm trying to, now that I'm like 3 or 4 years in, I want to pass that on to another person as well. So
Yeah, share the right knowledge and safety, all stuff like that included.
Yep.
Abraham, thank you for coming. Thank you to being part of this podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.